Hello, today I am going to be working on using up some, well, not using up all of them because how is that ever possible, but some wrapping paper scraps. I have this page that I thought I would kind of work on with you guys and see what we come up with. And this was a wrapping paper that was, I think, like solid red, and it had circles of Santa's face. And I thought it would be fun to make maybe a bookmark, like a page mark that's attached to the journal. I think I'm hoping this works out. So I thought I would do that. And since I'm making two of them, I haven't started on the other one yet. I thought I would make two bookmarks, and then I will maybe use some of this and some of this and, you know, create something for here. So let's start with this. I'm going to I haven't totally figured it out yet, but I think what I want to do is glue this down and then cut around it so that there's an edge showing. So, oh, I meant to fill these. They're not empty by any stretch, but it's much easier to work with full glue bottles than not. Okay. All right, so I'm using Fabri-Tac so that it doesn't mess with the, you know, create bumpiness in the wrapping paper. It's crazy to me how from one day to the next, the Fabri-Tac doesn't want to come out of the glue bottle. Have you guys noticed that? All right, so I'll stick my needle down in there and clean it out sometimes, but not going to do that right now. Alrighty. And then I just have to hope that I get it. I didn't want glue on it. Did I get it fairly close? You know, like, I'm going to try and follow the line here. So just go slow. And a little bit, I mean, this isn't perfectly round. It wasn't on the wrapping paper. It's not that my cutting was that terrible. Not that my cutting was that great either, but it wasn't perfectly round. So my cardstock isn't going to be either. This will give it a nice sturdiness to it. And then I'm going to put this one on the back side. So either way, it'll look, you know, good. Now I might actually have to do two. Okay, I'm going to have to do two. Let me get another piece of cardstock because I want to add some lace all the way around it. So let's do this again, and I don't want to stop my video and have to put them together. I'm already going to have to do that. So if you don't mind watching, that would be great. Or you could just fast forward a little bit till I get this second one cut out. That's probably way more glue than I needed. And then just, I lightly go over it so that it's, you know, not real bumpy or anything from the glue. And then I think I'll cut it out of this. All right. My last video was a Happy Mail video, and afterwards I had all the stuff laying around, and I was thinking, you guys, my craft room is not well organized. And I stood here. This is not going to be quite the same shape as the other one, but I don't think that's going to matter because I'm going to have the lace in between them, so I think it'll be fine, but I don't want it to be wonky either. Okay. Anyway, so I was standing here and I was looking and I was like, man, why is it so messy when I do this and that? It just, when I'm working in here, this and that means working in here. It just gets so messy. So here's one side and the other, and you could stop at that, but I'm not gonna. Afterwards, and it was in the afternoon, I almost started rearranging my room in the middle of this, you know, working on Christmas journals. That's not a good idea, guys. It's the time to rearrange your craft room is when everything's put away. I almost did it, but I didn't. My logic won out, I guess. So I'm thinking what I need to do is go to the Dollar Tree and buy some bins, some of those little, you know, just little bins to be able to put things in so that my piles maybe are in bins. I think that I would be good about, you know, pulling out a sticker set from the bin and putting it right back in the bin instead of laying it on top of whatever else is laying on my desk. I don't know. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to try and do. All right, so we have our two sides. They're inked. And now I'm going to use hot glue, but I'm going to put it, let's see what I want to do here. I want to put it so I can glue around it and not stitch around it and not stitch through hot glue, because that's not a good thing to do. So I want to put my glue kind of farther inside. So I chose a lace that was a little bit, you know, big, so I could stick a whole bunch of it in and it not create a problem. So let's do this and see what happens. So, you know, if I put glue here, that's nowhere close to where my stitching is going to be. And I'm going to kind of scoot it as I go so that there's plenty of, you know, roughly, I hope this works out, that it doesn't just look like mushed lace in between the two. I want it to look nice. I don't know. We'll see. And it doesn't really matter which side you use because both sides are gonna show, so. So I was debating in my mind whether or not to go into the Dollar Tree today, but laziness won, and I'm not going to. Oh, my head's not in the way. Kind of hanging my head over the project here. And probably will be a good idea to glue them together with hot glue as well, because it'll be kind of hard to get the, hope I didn't go too far with the hot glue that time. It'll be hard to get them to stick together, I think, if I don't use hot glue. We'll see. This reminds me of like 80s and 90s crafting. I don't know. It reminds me of, you know, there would be like a cross stitch. Somebody would do a cross stitch in one of those circles and they'd, you know, put lace around it. That's what it reminds me of. There was this house. I don't remember why I was there. So, you know, I don't know, people weren't so obsessed about decorating, I don't think. If they were, I was unaware. But when I was growing up, I don't think people spent as much time on, you know, having the newest everything in their home. I just don't think people had that thought in mind. But it could be that that's just, you know, where and how I grew up. But I always liked the idea of making things pretty and wanting things to look pretty and that sort of thing. Doesn't that look 80s and 90s, early 90s? Okay, let me just go ahead and cut this. But there's this house there. I grew up in the little town I grew up in. And I do not remember what occasion took me to this house because these people were, I mean, they didn't have kids my age. I didn't hang out with their kids or anything like that. So I don't remember why I was there. But they had a formal living room. And it was amazing. It was dusty blue and mauve, or dusty pink and blue. I don't know what words you want to use for it, but it was the perfect combination of 80s colors and lacy pillows, that sort of a thing. And I just remember thinking that was the most fabulous thing I had ever seen. I don't know, I think that's kind of cute. So let's go ahead and, I think I'm just going to use hot glue here. And then I'm going to have it just being held together in the center until I want to make sure my Santas are right side up, until I stitch around it, and then it'll be held together on the edges too. And then, oh, I didn't get them quite lined up. But again, I think that's okay. It's kind of okay, kind of not, because when I stitch around it, the stitching might be a little weird. I don't know, it might have been good to put, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So, oh no, there's one thing I forgot to do. Oh, it's fine. So I went to Michael's the other day. They were having a coupon sale. Like, of course, the Christmas stuff is always on sale. It's never full price. So it was 25% off the sale prices, the coupon was. So I bought these and these. I cannot find, it's impossible. Oh, I guess there's no tape there. It's just over here. Painful. There, I think. I was thinking that this would be pretty with it. And then I just moved it out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna give it quite a bit so that I can cut off what I need to cut off when I go to attach it. And I'm going to just, you know, have it hang from there. Just thinking I want it to look like it's coming out of Santa's head, not from the side or anything. I want Santa to hang up and down straight. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick some glue down in there. Again, far enough down that I'm not sewing through, or not sewing through too much. And you don't have to sew it. I mean, it's gonna stay together just as it is, but I'm gonna try and sew it. I might regret it. I'll let you know. Okay, so that's really cute. I'm gonna move that out of the way and then show you what else. So did I say I was gonna try and work on just using some, I did, some scraps. And so I was thinking that I would make a tag out of this part. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let me get out my paper cutter. My mess is starting. Okay, I don't know. There's no straight line on my, like up here is not straight, down here is not straight. So I'm just gonna hope. I don't want the deer's bottom from this side. And then I'll try and get the, nope, because I'll get the deer's nose. I'll just get part of it. That'll be cute still. Maybe what I'll do is give myself a straight line now. Okay. And then I'm just lining it up with the lines going this way. Okay. Look, more scraps. I had one and now I have four. Or yeah, four. An avalanche is about to happen over here. So I will put this here. I think it's going to be really cute. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I have to tell you guys a story that makes me think of the Beverly Hillbillies. Come and listen to a story about a man named Jed. I loved that show when I was growing up. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. Of course, it was all reruns. I don't think I remember them making like made-for-TV movies, but they had quit making it by the time I was older. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of cut around it, and then I'll straighten it up. So a story. I have my friend who got me into doing all of this. They had a leak in their house that they found. Who knows how long the leak had been going on, because when they found it in my friend's craft room, and her craft room, I'm not kidding you guys, is like a store. So she was in there. I don't know if she moved something and found the wall was wet, or I don't remember for sure. But right upstairs from her craft room is her bedroom and bathroom. And there was the pipes were leaking. And so it was going into the wall, inside the wall of her craft room. And her husband's office shares that wall, and it's the closet. It's his closet that, you know, butts up to her craft room wall. So they started taking stuff out of the closet and away from the wall in her craft room, and found mold growing back behind the cabinets. And this was the middle of June. So of course they call the insurance company, and you know how insurance companies are. They started trying to figure out how they could say this was their fault. Oh, you haven't been doing upkeep. How am I supposed to upkeep the pipes that are inside of walls? Let me just tear a wall down and check to make sure that pipe isn't leaking. Of course, they had to, you know, cover the thing. But it destroyed flooring and all of that. It destroyed so many things. So they got new flooring in both of the rooms and into the living room, because the flooring that was there ran into the living room. So they had all of that replaced, and then the walls fixed and everything repainted because they couldn't match the paint or something like that. But you guys, this part of the house is the part of the house that they spend most of their time in. They did not get their stuff back and the floors completed and everything put back until about a week ago. They were living like, I mean, don't get me wrong. They had a perfectly good area of the house to live in, and I think that's why they didn't push the project through. But this is the part of the house that they spent most of their time in, and so they had to completely change everything that they were doing. And their stuff was in storage. They had taken everything out. So like if she needed something, it was somewhere in storage for June, July, August, September, October. It was like 5 months because it was the middle of June. And so anyway, she wants me to come over to her house and see if we can figure out another way to set up her craft room. Speaking of looking at your craft room and thinking, how can I rearrange it? Yeah, that's what got me thinking about it. Okay, so this is, it's folded. Okay, I think I can cut through it that way. So I want to get a straight line here because I'm going to make a ruffle. So this will be, you know, a few different ideas for using some of the leftover wrapping paper, if you'd like. It doesn't have to be straight either. It might have been fun to leave it jaggedy, but I would have had a straight line on the other side and that might not have looked so good. And I think I'll do about 1.5 inches. I don't know, 1.25 inches. I'm looking at my project over there. I think I'm gonna go 1.25 inches. 1.5 inches. Now you could probably do this as you're sewing, but you know, you guys get the idea of what I'm thinking. You just go back and forth with your folds. It'll be a little bit less bulky than fabric too. And you don't have to be perfect. Like if you see how I'm going like ding, ding. It doesn't have to be straight up and down. It can be. I think I did that fold the wrong way, so we'll go like this. So you just go back and forth. Okay, you get the idea. So then I'll do the rest of this part on my own, but it'll just end up being a little ribbon that I can put on the side. The white side will show in the back, but you know, I could have doubled it up or something, but I think it'll be okay to have white showing on the other side. I don't think that's a big deal. All right, so I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna do some sewing and then I'll come back and we'll put it together. All right, I think I finished all the stitching. So I took this and did a zigzag down it. I zigzagged around this. Now, I don't know if it's just my sewing machine or if all sewing machines do this, if you have to change the tension or something because of the thickness, but it skipped some stitches in a couple places because, I guess, of the stitches, because it doesn't normally do that. But it did go through easily. And then I inked around on this side because, you know, the back side always has the little white pokes where the needle comes through. The paper is kind of white. And then I took it and I did a little dab of hot glue on this side and a little dab of hot glue on this side, here and here. I'm not sure what I will do here at this point, but I'm going to just leave that hanging. And I think that looks really cute. I'm going to go ahead and add my other things over here. Don't have a paper towel with me. Try to get that glue off my finger. And hopefully not have the stitching show on the other side. Come on, Stephanie. These kind of things, they bother me when things are like, they're fiddly and then I feel clumsy with them. I get irritated. It doesn't stop me from doing it, but it is irritating. Okay, so that's on. Okay, so that just adds a little ruffle and almost no bulk because, you know, the wrapping paper is pretty thin. This is just a gift tag that I found somewhere at some point. And this is the completed tag. I sewed around it. I added a little label and some little stamps I found at a yard sale quite a while ago. So I think that turned out really cute. And so this will just act as a little tuck spot. Just want to make sure I get the glue in the right places. So this one and this one. Some of it's going to be hanging off the bottom, so I don't want the glue right on the edge. All right, hopefully that's good. One of the reasons why this is kind of weird is that I took a card and hole punched it. And so it doesn't turn as easily as, you know, one might like for it to. Okay. I don't want to stick it into the glue. So I could kind of tuck it under the edge of that as well, but I don't know that it's necessary. I just don't want to tuck it into the glue, so I'm going to leave it gently in there right now. So will it work as a bookmark? Because that's kind of what I was thinking to do with it, but when I put it here, I was thinking originally to put it over in the corner, but then it hung sideways and Santa was like this and I didn't like it. So I decided to leave it like this. But if you take it and you're busy doing something on this page, you could do that and close it and know where you left off. Or you could just leave it as a decoration on the page that we did, because I think it's kind of a fun decoration. We don't usually have things that just hang off like that. We call it a charm, just a giant one. Okay, and then one last little idea that I've, other people have done it. Where did I put them? You can make little bags out of your leftover paper, and I did a video on this a long time ago, and so I will try and find that video and attach it below if I find it. But there's this one. Oh, this one is like if you want to put it in a signature, so it's like a double-sided one. And then so you can make your own bags. Like I said, I'll try and find that video. I don't know if I will be able to. So there we go, just some uses for our leftover wrapping paper. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.